last day here at IAGS and I am so excited. Everyone knows what a fangirl I am for you, Kathy. I say it every time I see you. But we're together. Thanks for chatting to me, Kathy.
Thanks, Jessica. I know I put you off earlier in the week, but I thought I'd better turn up today, you know?
I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
So what brought you to IAGS this week?
Great opportunity to have an truly international group in, because
Yeah.
a lot of times in Australia, even though there's international contributors, there's usually not a lot.
Yeah.
And this time there was. So this was a great chance.
Great one, isn't it? Yeah. Heaps of people have come through, which is awesome.
And then old people you haven't seen for a long time are here, you know.
Big reunion.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you've presented this week as well?
Yes.
What were some of the key takeaways from your talk?
The key takeaway stuff is Olympic Dam, as big as it is, and it being discovered almost 50 years ago, there's still more to be found there.
Yeah.
And not little bits and pieces, significant amounts. So that's what it was about, just adding a lot more on, adding a lot more into the mineable base of material. But then that's very important as far as the business goes, but as far as the science goes, is actually seeing deeper and deeper parts of the deposit and give us better insights into how it formed and all that. So yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah.
That's so brilliant. Yeah. How long have you worked at Olympic Dam now for?
32 plus years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I just don't think anyone would understand any deposit like you do with Olympic Dam.
Yeah.
What are like some big wish lists for you to achieve for the rest of your career?
which is I always tell people now that I'm far closer to the end of my career than most of them are. You know, they're on this hump up. I'm kind of going down. Yeah. That doesn't mean I'm stopped. I'm a scientist and I'll continue doing science until the day I can no longer function.
Yeah.
You know, things that I haven't finished off are coming up with the big picture, you know, because I have a habit of being a details person, and that suits very well, but that doesn't help as far as big picture. Yeah. So I reflect back on when I was hired more than 30 years ago to Olympic Dam. It was to do two things. Number one was to understand how the ore body formed, and I haven't done very well with that. And then to do mineralogical support for metallurgy, which then evolved into all the geomet and stuff. So the things I still have to do that are really the geoscience side things is put the bigger picture together based on 30 years plus of gaining information. So, and my excuses are rapidly running out as to why I haven't been able to do it. So, yeah.
No, you're very impressive. It's, I'm excited to hear more in that space.
Yeah.
What got you into geology to begin with?
Yeah, that's funny. I had city grandparents who were fantastic people. So they taught me all about politics, and my grandfather was great into politics. My mother's family were country people, and up in the mountains in California, and so that was fantastic. And they were only about an hour and a half drive away, so we spent a lot of time there. And as young ones a long time ago, you just be given lunch for the day and go out and disappear and don't return until dinner time.
Yeah.
And you could see everything, you know, and then just got that appreciation more of the outdoors. And my grandfather, even though he had worked in the mercury mines in California, ended up dying of low-level mercury poisoning, but it was actually hardening of the arteries that was caused by low-level mercury poisoning. And so he was a cool guy, but he was pretty occasionally ditzy, you know, but he would always take us out and he wouldn't say much. He'd just walk along, and as we're walking down to the creek or something like that, he'd be walking along, picking up little rocks, looking at them, throwing in the ground. Well, as a little one, you know, you do what your granddad's doing and you start picking up rocks, looking at them, throwing them on the ground.
My gosh,
it just happened to be in a part of the state where there happened to be what was called Lake County diamond, which they're not diamonds. They were just big quartz crystals that set in some of the volcanic rocks. So it just kind of started from there and just went on, you know?
That is epic.
Yeah.
What would you tell your younger self starting out your career?
Oh, if I was doing it all over again? Oh, that's tough because I don't regret anything that I've done.
Yeah.
And as far as a career goes, personal life, sometimes bad choices, you know, as far as personal relationships, but we all have to learn off of that. That's really tough because I've never planned out any of my career from the time I finished my PhD. So the only thing that I really have planned as an adult as far as my career goes, or what I wanted to do, is I said that I had always planned on doing a PhD and finishing that. And then everything after that is I'll just go with the flow and whatever's interesting.
Yeah.
And I've been fortunate enough to be given opportunities at places like Olympic Dam to go do pretty damn interesting stuff. Yeah.
I love that. I feel like I'm much the same, like totally just winging it and just going where the tide takes me at this point. There's no strategy.
It's go with the, I mean, if you have the confidence, you have the, you have the educational background behind you to do what you want to do, and the confidence, go with it. Yeah.
100%.
And then, but definitely when you're younger, take advantage of all those opportunities, because you don't have all the long-term family, immediacies of children's and long-term relationships you have to deal with. Which you have to compromise, later on with that, but still, do as much as you possibly can.
Say yes to everything.
Be ready to take the opportunity wherever you can.
No, I love that. It's good advice.
You're going to tell me what interesting talk you heard today. Heard over this thing besides mine.
There have been so many good ones. I loved Steve Hill's like the bigger picture, all about geoscience and geochemistry. But I was curious what you think the future of geochemistry looks like.
The future of not only geochemistry but geology. AI is with us. It is not going away. AI, machine learning, is just another set of tools that we need to become familiar with using, because this allows us to process a hell of a lot more data quickly. So that's one thing. So what I'm trying to do with my team is the ones that are still young enough, or you're never too old to embrace any of it, but the ones that can build up their training set, is make sure that they have all of those skills in their skill set to be able to use the software that's available and all those. But what that impact on that is, the step back to geochemistry or how we collect data, is we actually have to we have to figure out how we're going to collect high quality data quicker, and then the whole computing side will allow us to process that data quicker. But the more remote sensing that we have, and it's that development off of every tool that we have, we have to be able to get more of it quicker in order to actually to make the machine learning and AI stuff even work better.
There has been some interesting discussions this week about the amount of data that we now have, and then that becomes its own issue of dealing with. How do you manage all your data?
We have centralized database and very restrict about how that's handled, so that we have a single point of truth, and that's probably really important off of big places been around for a long time, or even when you have a bunch of small data scattered, is ensuring that the integrity goes beyond and that everybody can use it, and that it doesn't get manipulated or not manipulated in a bad sense, but doesn't get changed from what it was, and then store all the metadata that goes along with it. And so that actually is really important, and it's all consuming, is making sure that's right, and that's so that when AI applications come along that you could potentially use it, you actually have that data. And a big company for like BHP, it's all facing the same things. There's all kinds of initiatives in the background to make sure that everything is standardized as much as possible. So
No, I love that.
I
wanted to know maybe some fun facts about Kathy that people might not know. Some hobbies, any hobbies. Fun facts you've got.
I'll tell you, I'm a mineral nerd, a geoscientist through and through. That's what's my hobby, is geoscience. Why do I love geology? Because I get paid to do what I love. And so just reflect a little bit. That's the really important thing for younger people in our discipline and other ones too, is get into a profession that you love doing. And then work-life balance, yes, that's important, but you have to love what you do, because why would you do it, if you have a choice?
Exactly.
And so, but fun fact, so what do I do? Most of my holiday time is trying to figure out where I can go off on a holiday and do some mineral collecting or looking at something like that. My mineral collection at home is actually stored under my bed.
Oh, wow.
The really expensive stuff is in a safe, but so it's just that's just it. So
I love that.
The line between, for me, because I do a lot of research project too, between work and not work, It's just when I go to sleep, frankly. So yeah. I do like traveling, and as I get older, I do appreciate more historical things, and all that stuff. But I still give me a choice, nature or civilization all the time. I go after nature.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, just can't help it. So,
no, it's stunning out there. There's so much to see.
Yeah, there's so much to see in the world. Yeah,
100%. So speaking of your rock collection under your bed, what would be your favorite pet rock?
Oh, I have all kinds of them. I think I showed you a pet rock off of there.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, that did show up very well. So weird stuff that forms out of the ore body. Olympic Dam itself is not a great place for mineral collecting because it's a breccia and everything's filled in. So you don't have nice big holes. But I have some beautiful watermelon tourmaline, nice big single crystals that I wish as a student, and given that length of time that long ago, that I actually had money as a student, because when our new age people came along and started buying crystals up for everything, they completely destroyed the crystal market. It just went up.
Oh, wow.
Because they're willing to pay for anything.
Yeah.
And then people ruin the crystals, but it's still mineral collecting is cool. Not the micro minerals. I want the big ones that I can see.
One.
So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But the watermelon tourmalines are nice. Just everyone has their own little story. But the best ones probably, there's two minerals called benitoite and neptunite, and they're from the foothills of California.
Yeah.
And they're high pressure, high temperature minerals, and they're very, very cool. They're pretty.
They're like bright colors, or
well, they're actually, most of them are dark blue.
Yeah.
But they're interesting, and they're just not common everywhere.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll have to text me some photos sometime.
Pictures.
Yes,
that's right.
Please.
Yeah.
So I have been quizzing everybody this week.
Okay.
And it's quite hard.
Yeah.
I haven't learned all that many. I've been telling everyone this week. My mission's been to learn 1 to 10.
Okay. Stay off the man-made ones. The ones that are 100 and go not those two bottom ones, but the ones that are like above uranium and all that. So you go back up. Yeah. So those are the ones that survive for microseconds inside of an accelerator or something like that. So yeah.
I never really understood why it was all down there.
Yeah. There's all kinds of different things. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll stick up in the
stick up in the shallower parts.
What is number 26?
Oh, hopefully that's going to be iron.
It is.
That's right. I had to think for a minute.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, what about?
And it has an atomic weight of 55.846.
Well, yeah, this one's 8.5.
That's
must
close
have rounded
enough.
it up.
That's right.
That's impressive. No one's given me that as well.
Well, see, some of them I remember. Yeah.
What about number 40?
Oh. Show kind of point where we kind of what
down
where
this side.
Okay. So it's below potassium. Is it potassium, calcium? Forget the number in there. So K, look for K in the Ca.
Oh yeah, kind of down
down a little bit more. A little
down
bit.
One
Down
and
more.
across a few.
Down more. Oh, I can't remember. Give me.
Zirconium.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know the weight of that one?
No.
91.22.
Thank you.
Yeah. But no, always.
But what travels along with zirconium? Hafnium all the time. HF.
HF?
Sits right next to each other on the periodic table.
Yes.
And when something sits next to another element, it's going to behave like the other element.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's part of the tricks on this is where they sit. And the things that surround it, they all have kind of somewhat similar behavior.
Right.
But particularly if it sits one above, one below. Yeah, or even just right next to each other.
Well, there you go.
The periodic table can be your friend.
Wow. What other fun facts do you have about the periodic table? I've learned a lot about it this week.
Yeah, that's right. No, nothing.
No, this has been awesome.
Okay.
Always a pleasure chatting to you. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk.
Thanks, Jessica. And always a great effort you put out. So
thank
we always love talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.